We've been tagged! So we've been tagged by Butterfliez Home Garden in the 2018 Garden Roundup Challenge. And in this challenge, we are supposed to answer 6 questions about our garden here. And the first question is about what the best crop we grew this year was. And to best be able to illustrate our best crop, I want to take you into where we keep our spreadsheet and show you some numbers. Okay, question number 1 is what was our best crop we grew in 2018? And to answer this, first I want to give a little background. We put everything we harvest, we have a produce scale in the workroom, and we weigh everything as we pick it and we enter it into this spreadsheet. So we have it by date over here, and every date when we harvest we log it in. So you can see okra this year we picked 35.35 pounds of okra. Shiitake mushrooms, we got 2.83 pounds. So we have, let's see, peppers. I'll go to them. Peppers, you can see we got 0 pounds of banana peppers, 0 pounds of cayenne, but we picked 14.84 pounds of Cubanelle peppers. We picked 5 pounds of tequila sunrise, 8 pounds of red marconi. Every single thing that we harvest, we weigh in and we log into this spreadsheet. And then at the end of the year, it keeps a running total actually throughout the year, so you can see how many pounds of everything we picked for the year. Then we take this row, we take this total and we enter it into another spreadsheet that shows how this year compared to the years prior. Let me show you that. And this year, this gives us a good way to compare our production this year versus all the other years since we started keeping records. And we bought the produce scale and started actually keeping records in 2012. We've had a garden a lot longer, but we started trying to keep a lot more accurate records of how much we grow. So looking at this and comparing from this year to last year, we can kind of gauge successes in crops. Anyway, so if you're talking about what we had, the best crop we had last year by weight, I would have to say, let me go to my tomatoes, that would be, judging solely by weight, would be tomatoes. So we got, let's see, Better Boy tomatoes, we grew 36 pounds. The Black Renaissance, 17 pounds. Brandywine, 32 pounds. And Roma tomatoes, we grew 219 pounds. And that came to roughly 306 pounds of tomatoes this year. And last year we had 288 pounds of both these tomatoes combined. So just by weight, I would consider tomatoes our best crop this year. But we had a lot of really pleasant surprises. Let me find the cabbage. The Hilton cabbage. There it is. Hilton cabbage right here. We grew, it was the first year we'd ever grown it, and we got 21 pounds of this cabbage, and it was delicious. We both loved it, so I consider it a big success. Let me go to corn since it's right here. Corn, this year we got in 2 complete plantings of corn. We grew 1 crop of the Stoll's evergreen corn. It was the first year we'd grown it because we wanted to try an heirloom variety, and it was delicious. And we were able to, as soon as we pulled it, plant a complete other planting of corn. We grew Silver Queen corn, and we got 34 pounds off of it. So for corn, we ended up harvesting around 71 pounds. So we considered that a big success. Another thing I was really pleased with, and this has nothing to do with weight, but we've tried to grow onions every year, and we'd get onions that were edible and they tasted fine, but they weren't big, pretty bulb onions. Well, this year we got candy onions and planted those, and we had big, beautiful, pretty, tasty onions. And so I was really pleased with that. They look like onions you get at the store, great, big, pretty bulbs. And we picked 25.96 pounds of onions, and we planted 100 onions. And so this year we're planning on growing either 200 or 300 more. Well, there was such a nice success, such a pleasant surprise. We just finished off the last of those onions just here recently, so that I consider a huge success last year. Let's see. Oh, and the one other thing I considered a big success is our strawberries. Strawberries, last year we only harvested 8 pounds of strawberries. This year we picked 39 pounds of strawberries. So I love strawberries. We really enjoyed that, and they went crazy this year, and we harvested a lot of those. So I consider that a really big success too. All right, and after that, the next question is, what was your worst crop of 2018? Worst crop, again, using this chart kind of as a guide and just the experience of them, I would have to say our worst crop was I'm trying to find it. The worst crop we grew was sweet potatoes. There they are, sweet potatoes. Last year we planted and we got 30 pounds. This year we planted and we got 14 pounds. They take up a lot of garden space. They ramble everywhere. And then when we went to dig, we didn't even get enough to make it worth the time to dig them. I was very disappointed with our sweet potato harvest this year. And, oh, the other thing that was very disappointing was, let me go over here, our pears. Our pear tree just didn't do well at all. It got some sort of a blight, and we only harvested 5 pounds of pears. I mean, it was pretty disappointing because last year we got 20 pounds and this year we got 5. So our pear tree was very disappointing this year. But as far as the rest of the garden, we were very pleased with everything else's production. You know, some things are down, some things are up. That's just how it's going to go in the garden. You do the exact same thing, you think you've got it down, you do the same thing next year, you may or may not get anything. So it's kind of always a hit and miss with the garden, but overall we were very, very pleased with the garden production last year. Okay, the next question is, what was your biggest challenge of 2018? And when it comes to the challenges, I would have to say space. We don't have enough space to do everything we'd like to do. We'd like to have enough space to have more chickens and let them run around more. We'd like to have space to have other animals besides, we have the quail, and we love them, they're fun. We have the catfish, a small catfish pond, but if we had more space, we'd like to have more catfish ponds, and we'd like to have some other type animals. So space is one of our biggest challenges. We have a lot of crops that we'd like to be able to grow too. If we had more space, we'd like to be able to grow like a big field of peanuts, fields of melons. Just there's a lot of crops that we'd like to grow that we don't have the space to grow now. We do the best with what we have, but we'd like to have more space to do more. Okay, and the other challenge we've had is just rain. It has been a rainy winter, and we haven't been able to get in a lot of crops that we normally would have. But that's a challenge for everybody this year. I mean, it's just a gardener's challenge. You have wet years and you have dry years, and this year's just been an extremely wet year. The next question is, what things will you do differently in 2019? And the main thing we're probably going to do differently is not grow as many potatoes, Irish potatoes, and sweet potatoes. The sweet potatoes just take up a whole lot of space and ramble everywhere, and we didn't get a lot of sweet potato a lot of bang for our buck on that. So probably not going to grow sweet potatoes. And we may grow a few red potatoes, but not near as many as we usually do. They take up a lot of space as well, and they grow during a time where we could be growing a lot of other early crops that we know we get a lot more produce out of. And potatoes are just really inexpensive to go buy at the grocery store. So if there's one crop that will probably not grow next year, it'll be sweet potatoes and red potatoes. Okay, and the next question is, what are your plans for 2019? We don't plan to do a lot differently. We're going to keep planting the same crops that we've planted in this garden and that garden over there and the side garden. But what we do plan to do is just continue looking for as much space as possible. We have a lot of fences where we can plant climbing plants. We have a lot of areas that we used to have ornamental plants that we've gradually removed those and are trying to plant more edibles. We've taken this portion of the yard that used to have more ornamental plants and we've converted that to garden space. So we want to keep looking for all the usable space that we can out here in the yard. These trees over here, these azalea bushes, we're thinking about moving them around to the front, so this will be a little bit more usable space we can have back here. Want to convert just every inch we can find back here to space to grow edible food. That's the major plans we have for next year. And the last question is, who or what was your inspiration for 2018? And I would have to say our major inspiration would be this spreadsheet. Since we started writing down and keeping accurate records of what we pick, when we pick it, it's pretty telling, and it's inspirational. It makes you want to try to do better every year. Like in 2012, we harvested 426 pounds. 2013, 967. 2014, 1,000 pounds, and then we went down. 2015, 790. 2016, 888. Last year, we harvested, or 2017, 1,141 pounds from this little backyard we have, and last year, 1,214. So it makes you feel good to be able to see it in print, you know, that you're doing more, you're producing more, you're doing more with what you have each year. So that's an inspiration for us, just seeing this, knowing what we've done in the past, and trying to better that every year. And the last part of this challenge is to challenge one channel to this 2018 Gardening Roundup Challenge. And I want to tag Louisiana Gardening Family. He does a lot of great videos. He is currently remodeling, has videos about remodeling his home. He does lots of gardening videos. Probably my favorite video is a video he did about his high tunnel. He goes into a lot of detail about how to apply for the program, the actual cost involved, the setup. He does a really thorough and detailed explanation about his high tunnel. So I am challenging Louisiana Gardening Family. And that is it. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you to Butterfliez Home and Garden for tagging us. And I look forward to seeing Louisiana Gardening Family's video. Thanks for watching.